Hello. How's everybody doing tonight? I guess we're here to do some more ComfyUI nonsense. Last night we covered HotShot-XL, but tonight I wanted to go over some workflows that I've seen lately for generating depth maps for the work you're doing to take it into take it from like 2D to 2.5D. So you make an image, you could add a depth map to it and use a depth like Depthly or like for like looking glass holograms. But basically, you take your 2D image and make it 3D. 3D in the sense that we know what's close to the camera and what's far away. Not 3D in the sense that you can actually walk around in it. I saw a really great website yesterday, I believe, where people have taken stable diffusion images and a depth map and then made like a little world you can kind of walk around in. You can't walk around too far because, you know, once you go past a certain point or too far to the left or right or behind, the effect starts to fade away because it is just a 2D image that's got depth information. But it's pretty cool. It's super handy for stuff like looking glass or Depthly, where you just want an image to have some depth. So we'll talk about that first, and then after that I want to try to rebuild another workflow that I saw online where someone had pulled out everything they need from the image to make 3D textures with the image. So we'll find a workflow that does like tileable images, and then we'll try to make some textures out of those images and pull them into Blender and see if we can get them looking 3D. So yeah, that's the agenda for tonight. And then if anything comes up, as always, we'll just attack it. So yeah, if you have any questions, any comments, whatever, just yammer in the chat and I'll try to respond as we go. For this tutorial, it's not really a tutorial, it's just like a workflow video. So if you don't have ComfyUI installed and you want to install it and sort of play along, there's a video in the description below with the whole setup process for setting up ComfyUI and AnimateDiff-Evolved. I would suggest going back to that, doing that, and then coming back to this video later, because this is more of a like not a beginner tutorial, but like more of a intermediate workflow thing. Maybe give you some ideas of how you can extend things beyond just workflows that you grab online. Like there's a lot of workflows available, like on Reddit and on little discords and stuff, but they're more about like specific things. So it's good for us to branch out and stretch out and try to like understand what ComfyUI can do for us. So there's so many ML tools now and they're all pretty much interchangeable in ComfyUI. So let's try it out. All right, don't be scared. It's a lot of nodes, I know. I'm going to save this workflow because we were working on this earlier. 2023 1016. Call this AnimateDiff. All right, I'm going to come back to this. We're going to start fresh. Clear. Okay. The workflow. I just want to grab a simple SDXL workflow for this. So let's try to remember who's got the easy one. I think I have one on my computer. One sec. AI comfy nodes. We've got Serge, but it's a little complicated for what we're trying to do here. Let's see. Do I have a simple SDXL workflow? Oh, you know what? Someone on yeah, Make It Rad just sent me a bunch of workflows. So let's pull that comment up here. All right. Logo animation using masks and QR code. You might have seen Nathan Shipley's latest video. It's similar to this. Video to video, video to QR to video. This one's really cool. Text, image to video. You know what? I'm going to drop this link in here so you guys can just search and mess around with this stuff on your own time. Motion lures with latent upscale. That's the Kosinkadink method that we've been working with. There's this cool infinite zoom now that'll let you zoom out really far on a series of images. And it uses AD pass-through, so that AnimateDiff pass-through, so that it maintains its coherence throughout the long zoom. Image to image interpolation and multi-interpolation, using ControlNet to interpolate from one image to another. That's pretty cool. So you could do like a morphing effect from a series of images. AD in painting. Now that's interesting. When they say AD, they mean animated diff. So yeah, you just click the little workflow or the link and get the workflow, and then you can usually just drag the image right into your ComfyUI and get to work. But none of these are simple SDXL. So let's just Google it. ComfyUI simple SDXL workflow. So I know there's like some like crazy complicated ones, but I really just want to find a simple one. I think that'll be fine. That looks fine. Let's grab that one. And it didn't work. Oh, because it's a green shot. We're not going to rebuild it. We're not going to rebuild it. We're going to find one that... Okay, I'll just use the complicated one and we'll just work through it. Screw it. Load. My workflows are in my Comfy folder. You can save your workflows wherever you like. We're just going to use regular SDXL one with the upscaler. Yeah. If you want this workflow, it is... where did I get this one? But more specifically, just use any SDXL workflow you want, because that's not really what we're worried about right now. I can drop this one on my Discord later too if you want to play with it. So let's leave our image resolution here is fine. So what we want to do is generate an image, and this is going to generate an image, and then it's going to throw it through the upscaler. Just go through that real quick here. We're loading our models, the base model and the refiner model, passing them through the clip, and then we're adding our prompts. We have a positive, like linguistic prompt and a supporting prompt. So with SDXL, we actually have like two positive prompts. One describes what you want, and the other one describes sort of the style of what you want, or the supporting style of what you want. So you would talk about the scene here. Then you would talk about all the sort of extra stuff. So like you describe what you want on the left, and then on the right, you do all the stuff like, oh, this type of camera, this type of shot, this type of weather, this type of lighting, you know, like you're describing almost the metadata of the shot. Whereas the linguistic prompt is more like a dog at a bar drinking a beer. Like you're describing the scene. And then obviously you fill out your negative prompt. This one, you set your image resolution here as it creates the latent space. Tell it how many steps, tell it the CFG, seed, refiner CFG, and the positive A score and the negative A score. And I think that's how much your positive and a negative prompt affect the clip. But I haven't even played with that. I just leave it alone. Okay. And then I think that's it. And this is, I believe this is actually the Citan workflow. I'm pretty sure it's this workflow if you want to play with it. Yeah. All right, upscaler, we pick one we have. If you want to add an upscaler, they go in the upscalers folder, which is in ComfyUI models, upscaler models. And you can just grab them off of any, like just Google Stable Diffusion upscale models. I've been using this NKMD SIAX one and like Ultra Sharp. I heard this Nickelback one is good. I don't know. You just, you know, mess with them and try different ones. All right, well, let's just make the image and we'll see what we're working with here. Boop, 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 boop. Loading the base model, doing our base pass. It's DDIM at 20. So this is doing 25 steps. It's doing 20 steps from the base model, and then it's going to do another 5 steps on the end in the refiner pass. And now it's going to run it through the upscaler. This is a pretty sweet DJ French Bulldog, I'm not going to lie. And we'll let that upscale, and then we'll get a nice 4 times the size version of this image. And as you can see, it's actually diffusing the upscale, so we're going to get added detail. So it'll be less of just a straight up upscale and more of a reimagining, kind of like how Midjourney works. So you can see there's a bit more detail in this one. See on like on the speaker on the side here. And yeah. All right, so we got our little dude. So we want to create depth maps, and then we want to use those depth maps to make a depthly image. So where does our thing come out? Our thing always comes out of the VAE, and our VAE, it goes into our contrast fix LoRa, which is a new thing with Stable Diffusion XL. So the image output we want to make depth maps from is right here. This is the last image output from the whole chain. So we're going to drop that over here, and we're going to search for the node depth. And I've been doing a lot of research today, and I think I like Zoe the best as the depth map preprocessor. I will just do a workflow now that uses all 4 of these so we can compare them. But in all my testing today, I'm pretty sure Zoe is the way to go. And I'll explain why as we move on. But for me, what I'm trying to do for the step 2 of this is take my AnimateDiff animations, create depth maps for those, and then make animated AI videos for the looking glass or the holographic looking glass portrait thing. And so like one of the problems we had before with the forum is that it's so flickery that the depth maps that are created, because of the flickeriness or the way the images change, the depth maps would flicker a lot. And when the depth map flickers on a 3D display, it just breaks the immersion, and it's kind of nauseating. Because AnimateDiff animations are so smooth, when you use Zoe, the depth model Zoe, the resulting depth map animation is smooth enough, I think, to do 3D playback of the video. So I will be testing that tomorrow. I'm just waiting for my DisplayPort to HDMI cable to arrive so I can plug my looking glass back in. But yeah, so like what I'm trying to say is beyond the fact that we're just making these 2D images, we can really take this stuff and use it as like building blocks and like almost like samples or loops, you know, like a producer would. So you can start making this stuff and then repurposing it for other things. And that's what we're going to do today. So let's try and we're going to build a little workflow that previews all 4 of those depth map styles. And if you want to play with the depth map nodes, they're usually part of ControlNet nodes. So you would go to Manager, Install Custom Nodes, and then you were looking for ControlNet. And I believe it's these ComfyRoll ones and this ComfyUI ControlNet Auxiliary Preprocessors one. And maybe this one too. So all the ones I have installed, basically. These will give you ControlNet access. You might have them installed already from installing AnimateDiff. But if you go to search for a node in here later or while you're working along with this, and you type depth and nothing appears, you need the ControlNet nodes. So yeah, let's build out this workflow quick. We're going to grab all 4 of these. All right, let's look at them. Laris, enable boost for Laris. Laris is just a type of depth map. Midas is another type of depth map. Zoe is another type of depth map. And like Midas depth approximation uses a Midas model to do slightly more work. So let's add one other thing. If you don't know what type of node you need in ComfyUI, you can drag out from the thing you want to plug into and then let go, and it's going to tell you what it thinks is the node you want. And in this case, I didn't really know I needed a Midas model loader, but this told me I did. So it saves you time. So just drag out from the thing you want to plug stuff into, let go, and then it'll tell you what it thinks you need. It turns out we need a Midas model loader. We have a large and a hybrid, so we'll just do large for now. So remember I said I want to pull the image out from the final image node. We'll pull that into all 4 of these workflows. So now we're making 4 depth maps, 1 of each type. But we want to actually see these depth maps, so we want to create a preview image node. Now, if you were doing this on an animation and you're ready to go, you'd use a save image node, and then you would save, you know, all the images to a folder. But we're just previewing, so we'll just use these preview image nodes. And then you can click on any node and Control-C, Control-V, copy-paste them, so you don't have to go in and click every time. All right. So let's run this again. If we used the same seed, it would have just gone up to the depth and ran again, but because we have it set to randomize after generation, we lost the first seed we used, so I've just got to render it again, render a new one basically. But normally, if you're using a fixed seed, you can tell Comfy just to rerun from the last thing it did. So Comfy won't redo work. So if it determines up into this point that you've done something and this seed, like you use this seed and it's going to be the same again up until that point, it won't do it. It'll just start where it needs to. I think I made a mistake by plugging them into the post refiner or for the post upscale. yeah, it's gonna take extra long, and my stream will probably clip out because I'm doing the 4K versions of these images, the depth maps. So what I really should have done is grab the image output before it goes into this upscaler. So out of whatever VAE that was, where's that go? Yeah, I should have pulled it out of here because I want to do depth on these ones, not on these ones. But whatever, we'll let it run. We'll let my computer chug. I might drop a frame or two here. I'll have to change that because I think I'm actually dropping frames here. Hopefully I stay connected. So we've generated our 4 depth maps. And once again, I think I like Zoe the best. All right, so we got Laris here. This one's Midas with that's just the regular Midas. This is Zoe, and this one is the Midas depth approximation with the model. So get out of the way. I hate that you can't move that thing. So yeah, I like Zoe the best. I'm getting the most information and the cleanest lines out of this one, I think. This one's quite good too, but I remember it being extremely flickery during animation. So you may want to... Well, first things first, let's plug this into the right spot. Oops. Hopefully that was the right spot. All right, that should make a depth map from the... What did I just do? Where's this going? Oh, no, that's right. Okay. I probably should have just made another reroute node. Yeah, you can make these little reroute nodes, and they help keep you sane. All right. Yeah. So we know it's coming from the first image. That's after the upscale. It's going to the upscale. Yeah. Just follow the noodles. It's easy, they say. Okay. Let's try Vaporwave Sunset, Miami Beach, beautiful palm trees, sunglasses, convertible cars, and that's good. And it's sunset, nighttime. It's not a close-up. 5mm, all that stuff. Miami Beach. All right, let's try that. And we can actually disable the upscaling for now because we don't need it. Hey, Arturo, what's up? All right. So we made this image. Looks like I didn't disconnect it properly, so it is upscaling again, but we just won't be able to see it. So YOLO. But hopefully I pulled it out of the right spot to do the depth stuff. We'll see. Yeah. Need synthwave music. Oh, as always, I'm streaming with no music because it always gets copy stricken later. So put on some tunes and vibe out. Yeah, then you can set the volume to whatever you like. So there's our 4 different modes again. As we got Lares, Midas. Let's do this. This will be easier to read, I think. Zoe. I'm going to find out if there's a snap, like a grid function for ComfyUI. That would be nice. Little grid work. If you select multiple nodes, you have to hold shift to move them in this app. I don't know why, but that's how it is. So I think, again for my money, it's Zoe. I think it's going to make the cleanest... depth map. Now we can test this theory. Wasn't it depthly? I thought it was depthly. Depth map. Like bum 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 bum. Read. I could have sworn. Oh, maybe the site's down. How can I display one of these? What's a not dumb way to display a depth map on the web? Depth player? Ah, bingo bango. Okay, we have a reference image and a depth image. That's what we want. All right, so let's go to... Oh, well, tomorrow I'm going to show on my looking glass how that works. But for today, I'm going to do it on the web so we can see what they look like. So let's save this image. It's already saved in our outputs folder, but this will just be easier. So let's grab this one and this one, which I think are the two winners. And we'll choose as our source file this one, and our depth image this one. Pretty cool, eh? So you can see what it's doing. It's taken that depth map that we made and used it to stretch the image out. So basically, this is, you know, the idea behind a looking glass, in the sense that when we've got our 2D images and a depth map, we can, if you move your head from side to side, you can see. So let's try the other depth image. This one's pretty good too. This one might be better. That's hard to say. These models are so janky when you look at them from the wrong direction, though. I love it. Sweet glitch. So yeah, that's, you know, the power of depth maps. Yeah, basically parallax effect. We can take that a step further, because there's a bunch of nodes called the MTB nodes. And the MTB nodes, they have deep bump in them. So I'm going to delete all this stuff because we don't need it anymore. We'll probably end up saving one of these to do depth maps for it later, but let's try it out. Now, I've never built this workflow, so this is going to be new to me too. So let's have some fun. The nodes I'm talking about are MTB nodes, Comfy. They are right here. And we have a whole bunch of cool stuff in here. We can do bounding box for mask, crop and uncrop. So you can do stuff where, like, you decide, like, you make your own collage, your whole system of making collages. Color, constant color of given size, RGB, HU. So you can use that to change color modes and move colors back and forth. We have face swapping nodes, but they're kind of broken right now. Yeah, they're kind of broken right now. Same with the film nodes. They're broken because TensorFlow GPU on Windows is kind of janky right now. We have these cool image ops. We can blur, we can deglaze. Deglazing is sort of removes that glazing thing that they were touting as the end of all AI, you know, where it would like inject noise into the image. That's basically a way of removing that noise, LOL. So then there's denoise, which just like tries to clean up an image and denoise it and clean it up, blur it up and smooth it up. Image compare will compare two images and then give you a difference, so you can like see what's different about the two images. The stuff will just come up with two different colors. It's pretty cool. Image pre-multiply, you can use that to pre-multiply an image with a mask. You use that if you want to like make a image have like a circle for like the face or like a porthole or, you know, whatever. Resize fact. RemBG is amazing. Image background removal. So you could just make images with subjects, like anything in them, and then add a RemBG node in there, and it'll remove the background and then save that image. So you got like an image with just the subject on an alpha transparent background, which you can use as a sticker or decal or for making like huge collages of people and stuff, because the background's transparent. So it's just like easier than like clipping them out with Photoshop and all that stuff. Latent lerp lets you blend between two latent points. I have no idea how to use that. Concat images, you could take two image streams and merge them as a batch of images supported by the other Comfy pipelines. That's exciting. Kind of nerdy, but exciting. Image resize factor, don't need that. Text to image. Utilities convert text to image using a font. That's handy, because then you can make logos and crap for ControlNet, and you just do it right in Comfy. Styles loader, load CSV styles and populate a dropdown. So yeah, that's pretty cool. You could add a prefix or suffix to your prompt and then make a JSON file or a CSV file with all your favorite styles, and then you could just have them at a click. You know, just drag up the menu and just drop whatever style you want in there. Nerd. QR code, that's handy. Be able to make a QR code for the QR code stuff. But deep bump, this is the one that we want to play with. Deep bump makes normal and height maps from single pictures. So that was a lot to say. We're going to try out deep bump. Deep bump. Okay. What are the modes? Color to normals, normals to curvature, and normals to height. So let's go in here. We'll go colors to normals. We'll add another deep bump node. And we'll go normals to curvature. And we'll add another deep bump node. We're just testing this. I don't know what any of this stuff does properly yet. And then we're going to go preview image. Same deal here. Preview image. And then preview image. So this should give us our normals, our curves, and our height of whatever we make. So let's make tropical wallpaper, pattern, palm trees, sunset. And we'll try tiled pattern, tropical wallpaper. See if we can get a tropical wallpaper pattern and see what it does. If we can get the color, the depth, the normals, the curvature, and the height, we've got ourselves a texture, I believe. All right. I mean, it's probably not tileable, but we'll see. We got to wait for it to upscale. I should unplug this right here. I'll do that after. Looks like we need a model. What model do we need? Load model from ComfyUI models deep bump. Okay, let's try and find this deep bump model. If you see an error, don't freak out. You just got to figure out what it's complaining about, find the file, and get her done. All right, deep bump. It looks like it wants this file. So let's download this file. Deep bump 256.onyx. And where was it complaining? It's supposed to be in ComfyUI models deep bump. So let's go to ComfyUI models deep bump and then drop that thing we just downloaded in there. Run it again. We'll have to wait for the whole... Oh, I forgot to unplug that node. I'm going to cancel this. I'm going to disconnect the model from the upscale. And hopefully that'll make it skip the upscale step. Because I don't care. Looks like it skipped all the steps. All right. Oh, fine. Where were you plugged into? Here. It must be after... Yeah. The VAE decode must take place after. Never mind. We'll have to wait for the upscaler. I should just change it to a fixed seed, really. Or I could scale by 0. Okay. Things are happening. Okay, we got normals, we got curves, and we got height. We got... And also this one is the... This one's the color. Okay, so let's change these from preview images to save images. And we're going to set up our save structure so that we can save them all into a folder and hopefully make a little pack that we can use for Blender. So let's come out of here and we're going to save image. And the prefix is going to be albedo. That's our color. And now we want our normal map. And this will be our curvature map. Save image. Adding the file name prefix curve. And then we're going to do height out of the last one. Save image. We have our albedo, we have our normal, we have our curve, we have our height. I don't think we need anything else other than displacement, but I think we can get that from height. I think that's what that is. Let's find out together. All right. So this will save all these files into my Comfy folder with the right prefixes. So I should be able to just drag them into Blender, plug them into the right ports, and magical things should happen to a cube. You never know. Is there a tiling node? Image tiled? Oh, I guess I could use that to see what it looks like. See what it looks like tiled. All right, cool. So now if we look at our Comfy folder, the output folder, we should have, let's search by, yes, bingo bango. All right, let's open up Blender. If the height looks like crap, we can try using ControlNet to do a depth map process on the final pass and see if the depth map looks better as a height map. It's hard to tell. Because as far as I know, that what deep bump is doing is pulling it from a, 3 layers deep into the thing. All right, whatever. Here, let's switch to cycles, GPU, denoiser on, and we'll get like 32 samples, so it's nice and fast. All right. Gotta love that 3090. Okay, so we got our material. Let's load up our shader editor. All right, we got all these things to plug in. One thing I want to do first is go down to settings on the material and make sure the displacement is set to displacement and bump. Let's try plugging this crap in. All right, we got our 4 images. In here. Maybe we can just do one at a time. Oh, Blender. What year is it? Can't drag in multiple images. Curve, and do I have the normal? No. Curve. No. Why isn't the normal coming in? Okay. All right. Albedo is color to color. Boom. We have our color. The curve, I don't know what that is. Height is probably going to go into a bump node, and that's probably going to go into our normal. Hard to tell. No, you know what? Our normal is probably going to go into the normal. Yeah, this is going to go into displacement. Oh, maybe not. All right, so none of this works. That is fantastic stuff. What seems to be the problem? The height goes into the... Oh, maybe height should go into displacement, not a bump. Okay. Nailed it. Look at that perfect texture. We've done it. I mean, I don't think I've seen a better looking texture in all my years of blending. Now we get to figure out why it's so awful. We never did figure out what the curve does. What does curve look like? Curvature? Maybe the curvature is the maybe the curvature is the height. Ooh, no. No, 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 no. No way, no. There, it's perfect. Why does it look so bad? Let's unplug stuff. Is it normal? No, normal's not the problem. Displacement? I mean, yeah. Maybe the height is the normal? Nope. Maybe the normal is plugged in wrong. Oh, what's that? Oh, okay. That feels righter. More righter. It's puffy. Very puffy. I don't think this is going to work. And I think it's my fault. Okay, well, I bet you it's just some settings. So I am going to ask my nerdy 3D friends what I'm doing wrong. And we're going to try this again some other time. So for now, bye-bye Blender. But as you can see, we can generate the textures we need. So like if you know how to use them, you can do great stuff with this. So that's deep bump. The depth maps are the depth maps. So I'm going to pull up the workflow I was using. AnimateDiff. And I'll walk through this because what I'm doing here is generating animated depth maps. But I don't need to generate all these because all I want is the Zoe. So boop, 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 and boop, boop, boop. All right. Depth Zoe. Quality 100 is fine for these. Resolution 512. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Let's do a cool prompt travel. So let's start with portal opening to a magical kingdom. And then it's going to change into beautiful, lush fantasy forest. Verdant. It's another nice word for like lush and pristine. And then we're going to go into underwater coral reef. Beautiful. Bioluminescent undersea. And then we're going to go back to portal opening to a magical kingdom by 240. And we're going to change you to an 80, and we're going to change you to 70. So from 0 to 70, it's going to go portal opening, then it's going to go into a lush fantasy forest, and it's going to go into an underwater coral reef, and then it should loop back to the main prompt at the beginning. So we should get an animation that goes, you know, full circle, hopefully. We get 280 frames, so this will take a while to render, but it will be cool. So we are rendering an AnimateDiff. We are using Epic Realism, which hopefully will make it look really cool. I was using my Purz animation LoRa, but I don't believe it is connected to this workflow anymore. It is not. I'm going to disconnect for you because I'm not loving how it looks right now for animations. It looks a lot better for image generation. We have a sliding context for AnimateDiff of 16, and the overlap is 4. So every 16 frames, it's going to change context, and it's going to use 4 frames to overlap those contexts. We are loading. Let's load a mask from my mask collection. Movies Blender, October. I think I want to try. Is this 200 and yes, 280 frames. So the mask that we're putting in will look like this. So that's going to push the pixels around and we're going to get our animation from the prompt travel and that. And we'll see what we get. At 280 frames, 20 steps Euler. That's good. That's good. And 12, 12, 24. If you've never seen animated diff before, this probably looks insane. So once I get this running, I'll actually walk through the whole node structure. I think that's all good. And we're generating our depth map and we're saving it. We're generating our files and our things. Yes, QPrompt. This Midas model loader anymore either. So let's talk about AnimateDiff. AnimateDiff is like the forum, but different. It uses a, yes, I know, node groups would be the best. They have node templates, where you can like, you know, make a template of nodes and then drop it on different projects. But the group node with the like making its own little custom sliders and stuff that I really wish we had. Oh, what did I break? Expecting comma, delimiter or end. So let's look at our prompt. Do we see what the problem is? Do you see what the problem is? Missed a comma, got an extra comma. It matters. It matters. All right, and we're rendering. So as you can see, what it's going to try and do here is it's going to tween between these prompts. See, the strength is going up and down between the prompts over the course of the frames. So it's going to start. So it's going to start here, and then it's going to go from this to frame 70, where at frame 0, this is at strength 100. And by frame 70, this one is at strength 0, and this one is at strength 100. And then they tween into this one, where the strength will be at 100 for Underwater Coral Reef, and Beautiful Lush Fantasy will be at 0. Same thing will happen here. So what I want to happen will be a loop, because we're starting on a prompt and ending on a prompt, and our mask loops, and AnimateDiff is really good at relooping itself when it gets to the end. So I'm hoping that with the prompt travel, we can actually get back to where we were and make a perfect loop out of this prompt. But I'll go through the settings here. Loading our VAE, we're using a seed. I'm randomizing it on every run. That's the size of our animation. This is our old prompt. It got moved. It should be here. So this is just the regular prompt system you use, but you'll notice I've disconnected it and I'm using a batch prompt schedule from Fizz Nodes. This one's from Fizz Nodes. Fizz Nodes will let you schedule things like the forum in AnimateDiff, which is really cool. Yeah, and then we're using the QR code control net to use this input mask as the control net source for the animation. Whoops. Go away, please. So we'll load that in. We preview it to make sure it's the right file. Then it goes into the control net, which is using the QR code control net. Blah, 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 at a weight of 60%. That is feeding into our sampler, and now it is sampling the entire run. So it is doing a 280 frame animation right now. When it's done, it's going to hit the VAE decoder. After it hits the VAE decoder, we combine our animate diffs down here into videos. And then up here, we combine it into an image sequence. So we get a PNG sequence of the animation, which is helpful later if I want to interpolate or upscale it, because then I have each frame raw. And then here we're generating our depth map. So generate our depth map here, and we should have basically our PNG sequence and our depth map, which we can then use to make a 3D animation for the looking glass. So yeah, AnimateDiff is crazy. Yeah, the QR code control net only works with 1.5 because nobody has trained a SDXL QR code control net yet, but we definitely should. And by we, I mean somebody who knows how to do it, not me. Most of the animations you're seeing on the side here are all AnimateDiff, and you'll notice how freaking smooth they are. They don't flicker. I don't know why. It's more like StyleGAN almost, but it's awesome. These ones here specifically were made with OpenPose ControlNet that I took from a video of someone dancing. So we just brought the video in. You ran the OpenPose preprocessor on it. Use that image sequence to feed into the OpenPose ControlNet and use that to guide the diffusion of the AnimateDiff. So that's a really good way to maintain cohesiveness in your animation. This one here is Stable Warp Fusion, and that's my friend Danny, Skeletor, skateboarding. There's AnimateDiff. See how smooth it is? That's using QR code, like QR code control with animated masks I made in Blender. And if you want to play with those masks yourself, they're available on my Discord in the resources channel. And the link to that is right here. I need to fix the link on my website. I don't have to keep doing this over and over again. Edit, expire after 30 days, generate, copy. Yeah, there's my Discord if you want to join and grab the masks and my ComfyUI workflows and all that stuff. It's all in resources. And, hang out, chat, show me your stuff. Show me what you got. That one is AnimateDiff using my face Laura. It's particularly creepy. That was extremely sad. And back to ControlNet here. About 50% done on this animation. That's not too bad. 7 minutes left. Don't you guys love joining YouTube streams just to watch progress bars? Hell yeah. All right, I've been streaming for an hour. I'm going to take a little break, step up, move around, move my knees. You should too. But I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not your mom. I'll be back at 5. All right. Go away. Window. Yep. And almost done. Minute and a half left. That text. But yeah, you can see how each workflow can be extended quite a bit. Like, if I have another generation environment that has a whole chain of image processing stuff on the end of it to give me options. So like, I got a pixel sorter, glitch stuff, color changers, noise. You can add noise. Then you can add all this stuff, layer it all with overlays and stuff, and then all you save it all as preview images, and then every time you generate something, you get all these options, right? For where it could go, and none of it is saved on your drive if you don't want to. You just select the previews, and then anyone you want to save, just right click on it and save it. Then you don't waste all your hard drive space making 55 generations of something every time, but you also get to explore your options because they only take a few seconds to process each one or less. So this is VAE decoding our animation. It's going to now plop it into AnimateDiff. AnimateDiff, the combine nodes. It's going to combine them into a GIF, an MP12 frame per second GIF, 12 frame per second MP4, and a 24 frame per second MP4. Then it's going to go through and make an image sequence of all the files, and then it's going to go through and run a depth pass on all the frames and save those as depth. So then we'll have 2 videos. We place those 2 videos side by side, and they will make a animation that we can use on the Looking Glass. And if Arturo's still here, maybe he can test it for us. because I need a cable for mine, but it's coming tomorrow. All right, we are separating the VAE decode into an animation. So let's see what we got. Unlike the forum with AnimateDiff, you don't get to know what your animation looks like until it's done. So, you know, that's part of it. But you can run shorter animations of the same seed to kind of get an idea of where it's going to start at least. All right. Portal opens into a forest. Do we go undersea? We do. And then it turns back into a portal and loops. Oh my God, we did it. Okay. So we got our prompt traveling using the... Yeah, that's sick. That is so trippy looking. Oh, love it. It's like the holodeck. It's so fluid and it just keeps looping and looping. I love how the coral swims like fish. Saving the PNG sequence does take a while. I think the depth run's going to take even longer. But this should make a pretty cool animation. I'm looking forward to slapping it on the glass. Render. Okay, image sequence is done. Hey, thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. Ooh, looks cool in reverse too. If you want this image save node, the one with the PNG sequence saver, it's in the WAS suite. Here, it's in here. All right, and we're saving our depth maps. So we should have the frames for the animation and the frames for the depth map. I gotta Google the looking glass portrait resolution. I can't remember what the video is. 1536 by 2048. But what is the 4 by 3? 3 by 4. Yeah, 3, 4. Save those depth maps. Hey, Zeprito. Not too bad. Just making animations tonight. We started with depth maps, moved on to textures. The textures did not end well. But that was user error. I take the blame on that one. All right, we got our depth maps. We got our thing. So we're going to resolve. First things first, I'm going to very quickly upscale these with Topaz. Oh, that's not it. Comfy. Ah, crap. Hopefully that'll just be okay. All right, 280. All right, so I want you. Let's upscale them real quick. Frame rate is 24. So 3x4 resolution. No, I don't. Well, whatever. It'll just be backwards. So I think 960 by 1280 is probably the move here. I guess I could just go full res, but I probably shouldn't. Let's go 960 by 1280. 960 by 1280. Right, 1280. And we'll do crop to fill. 24 frames. Yep. Export. Okay, now I'll drag those into Resolve. And we'll make it, yeah. So this project is going to be, what did we say? 960 by 1280. So what's 960 times 2 is 1920. So we'll make a new set project that is 1920 by, what was it? 1280. 1920 by 1280. So then we should be able to drag both these files once they're done and then put them side by side and we'll have our looking glass animation. 15 seconds left on the upscale. You don't have to use Topaz. You can use cup scale or Stable Diffusion itself or whatever you want. I just happen to like the way Topaz looks. All right, and there we go. Those files are done. In here now. So drag you in. Boop, put you side by side. You'll be 960, negative 960. You will be 960. And we have a depth map. So the other thing you can actually do in Resolve is you can make your own depth map. Like I used Zoe in ComfyUI, but you don't need to. If you don't like that depth map, you can just duplicate it, move it over so that you got them side by side like that, and then you can just use the depth map. There's like a depth map plugin in Resolve, and that should takes a minute, but then it'll show you the depth map in real time. So like this might be a better depth map for the animation. It's hard to say. The one I generated is incredibly intense, lots of blacks, lots of whites, so it might be too strong, but you can clamp that down if you play with the contrast. Yeah, but play with it. Play with your depth maps, play with your images. But yeah, we'll try this tomorrow on the looking glass and see how it looks. But we would just deliver this as a LKG portal, Purz portal, that size, and we'll try it out tomorrow. All this extra stuff. All right, so that's basically the full workflow for an animate diff to RGB and depth. You don't like this depth, use a different depth. There's a bunch of them. Cool. Let's grab a different mask. So we'll try a tall one. And the animation for this is going to be this. So for the prompt travel, I think we'll try something like buildings, like, you know, like the Inception, Doctor Strange, that kind of stuff. So let's try Victorian City, Art Deco architecture, and then it'll turn into a modern, futuristic, cyberpunk cityscape, and then it'll turn into, how do you spell that? Medieval. Did I get it right? Medieval castle, magical caves, that kind of thing, and right back to the Victorian city. Should be a cool loop. And bloop bloop, you 2020 up. Again, you want the workflows, whatever, hop on the Discord and start chatting. Or the stuff's in the resources channel. And oh yeah, also I launched a Patreon today. If you like these and you wanna hang out and you wanna support me, it's patreon.com/Purz. Patreon.com/Purz. So yeah, support, and you get into a special channel on the Discord where we can hang out, and if you have questions, I'll just try and get back to everybody in there. Top priority, and do some exclusive hangouts on the Discord and try and help you work through problems and stuff like that. But yeah, it'll be a fun little community. I hope you come by and hang out. And the link is right here. Eventually, I'll have cool stuff on there for people that are subscribers. But yeah, I want to find out what you guys want first before I just start offering a bunch of weird stuff. So yeah, if I can add workflows or masks, things like that. Let me know what you want. Rendering. Let's see how long this one's gonna take. You never know till the first step is done. Come on. Judging by how long the first step's gonna take, I think this is gonna be a long animation. Ages, mate. Ages. Is it broken? Did I break it? Did I ask for too much? Do I have too many things open? Yeah, well, yeah, sorry. Comfy seems way more capable of doing stuff than Automatic 1111. For some workflows, absolutely. I mean, you can do all this stuff in Automatic 1111, but you can't chain it, 41 minutes to do this animation. Well, hopefully it'll look cool. While this is going, maybe we can explore those workflows on that Reddit and see what they're doing over there. So logo animation with masks and QR code. This is basically what I've been doing with my other stuff. Oh, thanks. You're my first sub. Thanks, bud. Yeah, if you join the Patreon or join the Discord, you should jump into the supporters channel. But if you don't, let me know and I'll sort it out. Prompt scheduling, this workflow. Yeah, prompt scheduling is what we're playing with right now. That's where you can tell it, I want to jump between concepts, like the forum. Video to video. That's pretty cool. Let's see how that works. Oh, so this guy's using the line art modifier, or sorry, the line art control net to look at the input video and try and like match it perfectly, at least like the outlines of the face and stuff. So it's like what we do with the forum, but with AnimateDiff, it'll probably be a lot smoother to do that. I've done this with OpenPose, works great, but I bet with line art and OpenPose, it would be wild. You need to stack multiple control nets. So context length. This is the length of each run of the AnimateDiff. You deviate too far from 16, your animation won't look good. It's because the AnimateDiff model's trained at 16 frames. Context overlap. How much overlap each run is overlap with the next. How much of a slide you get. Closed loop. Selecting this will try to make AnimateDiff looping video. It doesn't work on video to video because obviously the final frame of the video is not the same as the first frame unless it is. Context stride. More of what it tries to do is make a single run of AnimateDiff through the entire animation and then fill in the frames. The idea is to make the whole animation more consistent by making a framework and then filling in the intermediate frames. However, in practice, I do not find it helps a whole lot right now. Using it will significantly increase the length of time it takes to run because it has to retry a bunch of times. Interesting. Yeah, so this is the same workflow we've been working through basically. All the attachments are here. Here's the link to it if you want to play with it. This one's really interesting. Video to QR to video. So as you can see, they've got a video and a QR code. Not an actual QR code, but they're using the QR code to control the video. Like we're using the QR code control net to make the mask happen. It's kind of abusing it really. It's not really meant to do this, but it looks cool. I'll have to look at that workflow later. Text, image to vid plus upscale. That looks good. I bet you that takes forever to render. Yeah, the motion lures are neat. So motion lures, you can use them to like add camera movement. So you can see like pan left, pan right, pan up, pan down, zoom in, zoom out, roll clockwise and counterclockwise. I'm interested in this infinite zoom workflow too. This one as well. So you could make a series of images and then interpolate between them. I guess what's happening here is he's made an image in Stable Diffusion and then decided that only this part should be animated, the center, by in-painting it. But it's just a workflow, so there's no like breakdown. We can't really play with it. Oh, 14 minutes. Right on. All right. That's all of them. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw Nathan Shipley's latest banger, but it's pretty sick. So that's using the same QR code stuff we're doing with the masks and prompt travel. This is like splashing ocean waves and that animation, and that's what you get because AI is freaking crazy. It's literally the same workflow as we're doing here with the QR code. And that workflow is available on my Discord in the resources channel. So you can just grab it and drop it in and get to work. Very cool. Bloop, 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 bloop. ComfyUI. Yeah, I know it can be boring to watch these, but end results are usually pretty cool. I need some mini games to play. I should get like emulator set up and play Mario or something while we wait. I mean, I guess I could. List of required nodes to download through Manager. So all you have to do is open up a workflow, and then in Manager, just click this install missing custom nodes. And so anything you want, it'll just automatically grab those. So you don't even have to sweat that. Load up any workflow. If you see red nodes, install missing custom nodes, and you're off to the races. It'll go through and update everything for you. And if you update Manager, there's also an update all button now, and that'll just go through and update all of the extensions. I have a lot of stuff installed, and a lot of it is not necessary. It's just stuff I've been playing with, and so yeah. But basically, to do this workflow, you want AnimateDiff Evolved, and then all the nodes that are in that repo. And you also want, I use WS Suite for the save image node, to save images PNG sequence node. I use MTB for, I guess we don't really need, MTB does deep bump texture generation. So you can generate normals and curves and heights with it. And the MTB nodes. B. I think that's it for this workflow. And then the QR code monster control net, you want to grab that as well. And just throw that in your control net folder. What else? I like this VAE. Link that. VAE. It's a good VAE for 1.5. Yeah, all the models you need for AnimateDiff, all that stuff's in the AnimateDiff-Evolved GitHub repo. It tells you where to put them. And you can also get the motion LoRa's from there too, for the pan down, pan left, pan right, pan up, roll and zoom. Yeah, I think that's the whole workflow, really. Oh, right, and fizz nodes for if you want to do prompt or integer scheduling. That's fizz nodes. It only sounds complicated. But, you know, like, again, as I said, if you just load up the workflow from my Discord and just hit install missing custom nodes, it'll install that crap for you. And you just restart Comfy and you can load it back up and hit play. The only other thing is the control net, the input sequence that you use has to be an image sequence, a sequence of PNGs. So you just have to convert it to a PNG sequence, which I do with like FFmpeg, but you can do with Blender or Resolve or whatever. Premiere, After Effects, whatever you like. Oh, I bet I crashed it. I bet I crashed it real good. Yeah, close the program. I forgot I had all these silly 3D bezels and stuff on the RetroArch, so we're going to leave that alone for now. Right on. Oh, take it easy. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, I think after this animation, I will shut the stream down for tonight, but you can always go back and look at this workflow. I leave the videos up forever, so just go on back and skip through the thing. And again, if you have any questions, hit up the Discord. I am around. I will answer. Try and help. If not me, someone else will be there. There's a lot of really knowledgeable people in there now, so if you hang out in the AI animation channel in there, there's lots of fun people with different workflows and interesting approaches to AI animation. And as always, my way is not the only way. There's a million things you can do. There's Pika and Runway and Midjourney. For me, I like open source. I like running it locally, and I like empowering you to do the same. So yeah, it's just a matter of having control over your own tool set. And if you don't have the GPU for it, it's not a big deal. There's cloud solutions. There's lots of ways to do this stuff on the web now as well. So it's not gonna harm you to not have the latest and greatest GPU. You can get started on anything, really. How's this go? 3 minutes. Excited to look at this on Looking Glass tomorrow. I think it'll be cool. I'll head back on tomorrow, probably the afternoon sometime, basically whenever the cable arrives, and we'll hook up the Looking Glass and I'll figure out a way to point a camera at it. And oh, nice, 4070. That's really fast. How much RAM's in the 4070? 8 gigs? Or is the TI-12? You might need 10 gigabytes of RAM to do AnimateDiff. I'm not sure. What's mine using right now? I'm using 11.6 and I'm streaming, so I think you'll be fine. It might fold over into the RAM when you get to the VAE decode step. I feel like it goes over 12 here, if I remember correctly. Keep that up. And keep an eye on the usage here. If that goes over 12, you might be in trouble in the sense that the VAE decode process on the yeah, basically once you've run out of VRAM for a function, it's going to try to swap to your regular RAM, and your regular RAM is nowhere near as fast as GPU VRAM. So what ends up happening is it like water wheels over to your regular RAM, and then there's this massive bottleneck when it's got to transfer back and forth. And yeah, I bet faster RAM is good. That's interesting. How does no RAM work? Does that just use Stability API or something? Well, we're up to 23 gigabytes of VRAM usage in the decode process. So I have a feeling that's going to water wheel into your regular RAM. So this final step might take like quite a while. But yeah, you know, it also might be because this is a friggin' 280 frame animation. It might be a lot easier if you're doing like 16, 24, or 48 frame animations. I don't know how that works exactly. Excited to see what we got though. This one's super cool. And I was gonna step off the stream because it was getting. I figured everybody was bored, but people keep joining, so I guess I'll stick around. Maybe we'll just make shorter animations so we get faster results. If you guys want to try some prompts for the prompt traveling, just drop it in the chat. I can help flesh them out if you just want to see like fire, then ice, then glass or something. Just yeah, shout and we'll try it out. We can do some shorter ones so it doesn't take 45 minutes to render. So I think 60% for the control net was too high for this animation. Because it looks cool, but it's basically just the control net mask with stuff in the middle. So if I were to bring the weight down on the control net, I mean, we can just show you what that looks like. Let's change the length of the animation to... Oh, you know what? It's still generating the PNG sequence. That's why it's so choppy. All right. Let's just go with 48 frames. 48 frames. I guess we can cancel it. We don't really need the PNG sequence for this one because we don't like it. Well, I don't like it. It's too control netty. This may not stop till it's done, but that's fine. Blah, blah, blah. So our control net was at 60%. And as a result, we got way too much of the input mask taking over. So let's try changing it to 30%, which is delineated as 0.3 because it goes from 0 to 1. Bloop, 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 bloop. Hopefully the cancel will happen before it makes depth maps for a video I don't like. You know, Comfy does have a couple things like this, you know, where you can't interrupt a process or things get funky sort of UX-wise, but considering what they've done over the course of time and like the stuff that comes out every day for Comfy, it's incredible. Thoroughly blown away by Comfy. And the community. The community is awesome. My computer's going to catch on fire saving this PNG sequence. I wonder if I've rolled over into my system RAM. It's just straight up taking forever. Oh, we're almost done. 8, 9, 280. Yeah, and the other one stopped. Beautiful. Okay, so that was 60%. Anything over 50 tends to like really inherit the control net. And that control net has an awful lot of white, so that's what's going to happen. This time when I run it, it's going to be less noticeable, but it should be like a way more interesting animation. Knock on wood. And it should render a lot faster. Yeah, 3 minutes. That's reasonable. Pixel, all your latest videos on Instagram are just mind-bogglingly great. I really like the hand one, the hands. I'm always looking at Instagram on my computer and I can't repost them, but whenever I'm on my phone, I try to repost everybody's awesome AI videos because they're just, everybody's just killing it lately. So when installing one of the nodes, I got this error, unable to detect NVIDIA CUDA or AMD ROC. But you have a 4070 Ti, right? Oh, maybe it just needs, maybe you just need CUDA installed. Do you know if you have the CUDA stuff installed? Like the CUDDN and all that crap? I don't know if you need that. I just have it installed because I needed it for something else, but maybe it's the wrong version. Which node? Which node wanted that? Do you know? Which node package it was that's complaining about that? Okay, let me see. NVIDIA CUDA download. First of all, try installing the CUDA toolkit. It might just need that to do whatever the node does. If that doesn't work, there's the CUDNN, CUDA Deep Neural Network library. There's so many of these things, but installing both or one of those might fix that problem. It either means that or it can't detect your video card. And if it can't detect your video card, that's problematic. Yeah, see, it's way less of the control net. You still get it, but it's not as much. Trippy. Where's my 1, 2, 3? Go back to our regular clip because we're just doing short ones. Positive control net, yeah. And we'll go back to our Georgian Bay Lake Huron prompt. I love that one so much. And let's bring it back up to about 45%. This is cool but useless. I don't love it. It doesn't thrill me. I should cancel this one and unplug the depth maps because I don't need them for these runs. Yeah. I can always generate them after if I have the PNGs. Render, 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 render. Oh, yes. ComfyUI frame interpolation. Is that film? FILM based. Recently they broke the support for that, I think. The Tensor GPU thing in Windows is broken. TensorFlow something or other. That might just be because TensorFlow's frame interpolation. Interesting. Beautiful. Let's plug FreeU back in. Let's try FreeU again. Oh, actually, before I do that, let me try installing that and see if I get the same error. Did you restart Comfy after you installed it from Comfy Manager? Oh, there it is, frame interpolation. I'm going to try that workflow. When loading the graph, following node types when I found right VFI. Well, that's interesting because I just installed it. No, what was it? Am I blind? Did it go away? Is it hiding? Am I blind? Is it gone? Did it disappear? What is happening? It was here, I swear. That's super confusing. Just update all the nodes just to be sure. It's weird that it went away when I pulled the workflow in. It was definitely there before I pulled that workflow in. MTB, Impact, Comfy Manager. Okay. Let's restart Comfy. It ain't all wine and roses. Hey, okay. Load image. What do I got here? AI Comfy. Let's go from this image. It's just one image? How does this work? Load checkpoint. Rev animated. Let's go a rainbowy nebula. That's fine. I like temporal diff, but what's animated motion? I don't even have that one. Animated motion. What did it want? Animated motion. Motion Laura? No, not those ones. So animate diff. All right, well, whatever. Let's just try this one for now. That's probably how that shit works, but whatever. Load, upscale, load, thing, do your thing, thing is thinging. All right, I probably need this rife path file. I have no idea. Well, let's run this and see what it does. What are you crying about? Is it working? Oh, things are happening. Hey, Slowcon. We're just trying out this image interpolation workflow. See what it does. I don't know if it extends an image or what, but I only see one place to put one image, so it's like, what is supposed to be plugged into the downs? What the okay. What? What am I supposed to do with that? Okay, maybe let's not use this abstract ass image I made in P5. Let's try my stupid face. Let's try this dumb bastard. This is so weird. Oh, I probably should have prompted something. Oh. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna leave this the hell alone because something is... I don't understand what's happening. I mean, I guess that's right. 40-year-old man wearing glasses. Oh, maybe it's the... It's possible it's the motion model. What motion model did it want? I gotta find that motion model it wanted. It just turned it into not me. Hey, Nick, thanks. Thanks for joining. Well, you know, looks just like me. We have the same build. Roughly the same weight. We're both in shape, you know. Not quite. Not quite. Okay, let's... 40-year-old man, extremely angry. And let's go with epic realism. Change the seed. Okay, so my image is the one, and this is the two. So maybe it's getting too much of my image. I don't know. Let's leave it alone for now. Let's run one with epic realism and see if it makes a normal human person instead of a animation of a person. This is a really weird process. Also, we should plug in the upscaler and see what that do. Whoa. Yeah, it's not really animating enough. I'm going to take this same prompt, load up the workflow I was working with earlier. Let's go with an extremely angry 40-year-old man, and we'll do 48 frames, 512 by 512. What's the mask? Oh, that's a good mask. All right, cool. Blah, 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 QR, what's all this crap? Delete, 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 delete. All right, cool. Do our animate diff into that, We made it a 48 frame. That should be nice and short. Let's check out our 40-year-old man extremely angry animate diff. Some of the funniest ones I've done are with my face Laura. I'm gonna show you guys how to loop a Laura in if you want to try that. You can train Laura's on your face, you can train Laura's on your art, you can train Laura's on generations you've done. So like if you have like a folder full of stuff you've made in Stable Diffusion, and it like really resonates with your output and the way that you feel like your style, you can train on that subset of images and then use that as a Laura to guide other generations. So it's definitely something to think about. Yeah, I was testing the control nets to see which one I like the best for animation. Yep. What's UD? Unreal? I don't even know what UD is. There's so many freaking tools. Yeah, Comfy's cool because you can extend the workflows to do whatever you want, but as a result, they take longer because you're doing more shit. Unstable diffusion. So I can pull that workflow back in and try and find that motion Laura. What? Now I've piqued my own interest. Let's load up my stupid face, Laura. Plug you into here and apply control net. 60 is great. We'll go a little less. We'll go 52. Cause QR code, blah, blah. I want to go a little longer. We'll do 140 frames. My animations loop twice over the course of 280 frames, so I can run 140 frame animation that will still loop, and we get to get cool results. So let's make me really angry. I've done happy and sad ones, but I haven't done an angry one. That's a trippy animation right there. Oh, I forgot to add Purz face. Forgot to add my trigger word. All right. And you know, like the really cool thing about Comfy is you can change your settings and hit Q, change your settings, hit Q, change your settings, hit Q, change your settings, hit Q, and go to bed. And it'll just keep grinding away, doing animations. You can wake up in the morning and check them all out. I like that. I think it's pretty cool. It's also good when you're iterating just like single images, because you can make your changes, hit the button, make your changes, hit the button, make your changes, hit the button. And if you find an image that you really like, you just drag that image right back into Comfy and it rebuilds the entire node tree that made that image. So that kind of workflow for me is a lot better than automatic, where you're kind of like, you're held hostage by your generation. You sort of hit generate and you got to wait for it to finish before you can start the next one, 5 minutes. I don't mean to keep yawning, everybody. I'm sorry. I'm not even tired. I'm just yawning. Happens every time I get on stream. I don't know why. I'm not bored. I like this stuff. I like it a lot. But yeah, if you guys have any workflows you're curious about, or you want to check out, or you want more info about, you can suggest stuff for me to go over on my Discord, and I'll make live stream about it if I can figure it out. And if I can't figure it out, sometimes it's fun to just do a live stream and try to figure it out together, like tonight. If my 3D friends were online tonight, I would have brought one of them onto the stream to figure out the texture problem I was having. So look forward to that. I've got a few very nerdy friends that I'd like to drag up on stage with me here, and down the road, work out a problem together. Maybe they could teach me something. Maybe I could teach them something. We can all learn together. And as always, if you have suggestions or I'm doing something wrong and you know a better way, please feel free to say something in the chat, and I will try to understand what you're saying and take it in, because a lot of us are just fumbling around in the dark with this stuff, and that's fine. If you actually understand the math, you understand the diffusion, feel free to butt in and tell me I am explaining something wrong or doing something wrong, because a lot of the stuff I've learned by feel more than like the actual technical, exact technical math knowledge about it. So if you are knowledgeable and you do know and I say something stupid, please tell me so I don't say stupid stuff. Well, that's stupid stuff. I'm destined to say stupid stuff. Render. Me yawning again. Jeez. Vid to vid with control. Okay, let's just download all these. And we'll try one of those workflows out. So those were the workflows for... Where was I? The guide. Right. So... It's the wrong ComfyUI. Let's close all these other... Yes. German CS community, which now a startup. Would love to build nice infographic and content. Oh, right on. Yeah, I mean, Comfy is really cool because you can actually do other stuff where you're like, you can make like a grid of images. Oh, pardon me. Add text and all kinds of stuff. You might be able to just make the infographics inside Comfy, to be honest. But yeah, AnimateDiff is a whole new beast. Deforum is great, but it's very flickery. So like these fluid animations are pretty cool. Glad to have access to them. Turn my camera off while this renders. Frames. Give it a break. LOL. Look at how angry I am. I just look more confused than angry. Why did it make me an astronaut? So many questions. Oh, unfortunately it can't. This is only for NVIDIA cards. Is that an AMD card? Yeah, what's the 6600 XT? Yeah, sorry, it won't do this stuff because it requires the RTX cores. I hope at some point they figure out. Yeah, I think it'll work, but unfortunately it will be pretty slow. Um, you might be better off messing around locally until you figure out exactly what you want to do, and then grab some cloud time to do the actual renders. Save yourself some time, you know. I actually got it to work, so I don't know what was going on there. My Purz lore is too strong, maybe. Too much Purz. You notice how it's all like washed out like that? I've got that a bunch of times with this Laura. Don't know why it's so washed out. God, it's weird to see your own face coming back through. Purz face, let's go. 40-year-old man, beautiful princess. Glitter, makeup. Let's see me as a beautiful princess instead of this angry fella. Well, 2.5 hours. So I'm going to stand up, stretch my legs, but I'm here. I'm around. I'm not gone anywhere. I'm just going to stretch my knees. Do the same or don't. I'm not your mom. All these examples were done with various control nets. Mostly QR code control net, but if you see a person dancing, it's probably open pose. "16 seconds. Doesn't look like me so much anymore. But I am a pretty princess, so I did pretty much nail it. Maybe I should rock those glittery eyes. That's pretty dope. The beard comes through so hard, even though it says beautiful princess glitter makeup. The Purz face just pushes that beard through like. Let's try my Purz V spheres. Ferrofluid. Vector displaced spheres. Gooey paint. Globs of liquid steel. Iridescent and holographic. Holographic textures. So this is trained on a bunch of this model is trained on a bunch of pieces I made for an NFT collection in Blender with vector displaced spheres. So the data set is made up of all of these images. Okay. I want to go to where's the thing that makes all the data? Come on. There they are. So yeah, all these spheres here, I fed into one LoRa and trained a LoRa on all these. So I made all these in Blender with math and 3D textures, and then displacing a sphere and rendering it in cycles. So yeah, it was a really fun project, and it made a really cool LoRa. So hopefully the result will look something like these spheres. Right on. Take it easy. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for subbing. Have a great night. Let's see what people are doing with AnimateDiff today. Everybody's making such cool stuff. This is why AnimateDiff is so awesome. I love everything Rupe does. September 28th, only a week ago. I've seen most of these already. Remy just always makes the coolest stuff. Definitely recommend following Remy. What was it? Animate Diff. I don't see the support channels. Is your Discord linked to the Patreon thing? I think I see you in there now. Nice. Nice. Animate Diff. Latest. Ooh, you know what? That's a risky click because I bet you some people are making some less than safe for work stuff with Animate Diff right now. This is incredible. What the hell is this? It's from Evil Dead Army of Darkness. Jeez. How did he get the whole video in there?
Here is a brief overview.
Oh, we're downloading that workflow. WTF, mate. And I think I should grab that. So apparently it's a Disney checkpoint from Civitai. Disney Pixar cartoon type. Maybe he says in the thing which one it is. No. Well, let's see if I can get the name from the workflow. Well, that looks cool. Jeez. Oh, I love the colors in that so much. Beautiful. Gorgeous. I think we'll stay on the vector spheres thing for a bit. Okay, so let's try pardon me. Flowing ferrofluid vector space swirling vector display spheres. Sliding gooey paint, dancing globs. Yeah. Holographic textures. Man, that looks cool as hell. My input is simplex, so let's try different mask for the input. I think I want a fast mask for this one. Trying to remember which of these masks is fast. I'm gonna wait for my network area storage to wake up. Wake up. There we go. Oh, it's an MP4. Some of these I didn't save as PNG sequences. 140 was just maybe hex. Oh yeah. Any of these image sequences? Here. Screw it. Let's make one. Let's make one. Yep. I think that's it. Those little bloop bloops. I don't like them. No, I want black background, white action. Want more fun stuff happening. That's what I wanted. 2.75. That should be cool. And let's pull it out a bit more. 0.6. There we go. That looks like a cool one. A geometric explosion and PNG sequence or animation. Why do we only have one frame? I think I had a space in the file in the folder. Save it. And then back over here and drop it in. Temp, geometric explosion, loop. All right. And then 140 is fine because it's a double length. God, that's cool as hell. All right, let's see what that animation looks like with this Laura. Look at that later. What is a bicorn? I don't know. Whoa. Oh, random polka dots are just okay. different. That's pretty cool. I wonder though. Faster is better. We're gonna call you Zebra. Zebra Pulse, Zebra Pulse, oh, whoa, Zebra Pulse. Oh, it's done. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that's so sick. Fantastic. That one I just made. All right, let's leave it at $140. Strength at 5. Yeah, it looks good. I'm so blown away by the colors. Superb. Now let's go back to Blender. Make a new texture. Let's not do a wave this time. Let's do a spiral. And spiral rotating out. 0 to negative tau times 4. I spelled that wrong. Negative tau times 4. All right, and then the scale. I like the one. That's cool too. I don't know what size. 1.5 maybe? 1.25? 0.75? That's kind of cool. What if we add some chaos? Voronoi texture. Distance. Okay, we get some bubbles. What if we want squares though? Not boublés, but squares. That'd be Chevy Chev. Okay. There we go. Was the rand. That's what I'm trying to get. So we get some trippy ass stuff going. Alright. We need more black than white for the most part. Yeah, that's starting to be something. That's starting to be something. Alright, let's add another math node. And let's add, I wonder if a simplex grid would be too much. But hex pattern might not be. I think they look cooler like this. Yeah. Yeah, too. I like those little. Ooh. No, that's still smooth and weird. That's what we want. Smooth and weird. Trying to get a nice 50-50 mix of black and white for this mask. Without. Ooh, that's cool. A little too much black, maybe. Call it a cube spiral. That should make an interesting one. Not quite. Close enough. Decode that VA. Oh. Let's bring the strength back up. 0.7 for that one. All right, well, I'm going to save this workflow and I am going to run this tomorrow. I'll be back on tomorrow, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, this has been really fun. We started with AnimateDiff. We started with making depth maps. Then we tried to make textures. That didn't work out. So we went back to AnimateDiff because it's fun. But tomorrow I'm going to take the images, the animations that I make, with the depth maps and try and get them on the looking glass. So yeah, we'll see how that looks. All right, everybody. Have a good one. As always, join my Discord, hit up the Patreon, like and subscribe and all that jazz. Thanks for hanging out. And I will continue to do these workflow hangout sessions because you guys seem to enjoy it, and I really like sharing these workflows with people because they are just crazy. But yeah, thank you for coming out, thank you for spending time with me, and have a great night. Bye everybody.